Saul Kirsch here with Double Alpha Academy, and this is the Auto Case Sorter. Now, the Auto Case Sorter is a truly unique product, and it offers a solution to a very real problem that every progressive reloader is familiar with. What happens when the wrong case feeds through into your shell plate and gums things up, jams things up? Especially if you're running an auto drive, this can really create some big delays and drastically deteriorates the quality of your ammunition. If you could ensure that every case was the correct caliber case and correctly orientated without spending any additional time checking and sorting your brass, that would be a great advantage, and that's exactly what our new Auto Case Sorter can do for you. The Auto Case Sorter is an electronic mechanical solution that is designed to be fitted directly onto your reloading press between the case feeder and your shell plate. And as the cases fall from the case feeder, they are fed through the device. It puts them through a measuring position where it checks for the diameter in and on the rim, and the height of the case determines whether it is what it's programmed for to accept as good, and if not, it rejects it through the ejection port. If it's correct, it's fed through and down into the shell plate for a smooth, quality reloading process. The device is lightweight and small enough to fit onto your press with no modifications. All you need to do is change your output tube, which is included in the kit, a couple of minutes of assembly, and you're ready to go. You program it yourself for your caliber of choice. The device is able to handle calibers from 380 through 45 ACP, so most of the semi-auto pistol calibers. And once it's programmed for that one caliber, that's the only one it will accept. Program it for 38 Super, and any 9mm case will be rejected. Even a 38 Super comp will be identified and rejected if the rim size is different. In addition, it's able to recognize an inverted case. So if the case feeds upside down from the case feeder, that too gets rejected, preventing that jam of the upside down case trying to be forced into the shell plate. The device runs at a cycle rate of about 1 second, so it's able to handle reloading speeds of above 3,000 cases, 3,000 rounds per hour, making it great to use not only on reloading but also for case processing. The device is small and compact. It includes a power supply, and you purchase it along with a kit depending on the machine that you're going to be assembling it to. We really only offer 2 kits because we have one kit which is suitable for all the Dillon machines, be it a 650, 750, 1100 or the 1050. You adjust the length of the pipe to your own needs, and I'll show you in a couple of minutes how to do that. You can then program the device for the caliber of your choice, and it's ready to run. It also provides you with a handy counter that will tell you the total of cases, only the good ones, that were fed through, and will allow you to keep a running tally of the amount of ammo that you loaded in that session. Another useful tool is the ability to empty your case feeder. Put it into the emptying mode, and all the case feeders are ejected immediately out the ejection port, so you can quickly and easily empty the bowl of your case feeder. So when you receive your Auto Case Sorter, really the device ships together with its power supply. And this is all that's included in the box. In addition to that, you will choose which mounting kit you need. This is the mounting kit for the Dillon. It's the basic kit. It includes just a couple of plastic pipes, the output rejection spring, and the steel rods which we use as support hangers. This is the kit for Dillon. There's a different kit which I will show you when we set it up on a Mark 7 that is customized and designed for the Mark 7 case feeder. It's a little more complicated there because of the angle. The case feeder is not directly above the entry point to the shell plate, but we have a solution for that as well. Now, the unit itself offers the input tube, which over here has a gate preventing double stacked cases from creating a jam in the system. The slider is the part that moves the cases in and out. Should you wish to remove the slider, which you can at any time to clean or to clear a malfunction, you must remember to lift up the small support tab, remove it, and then the slider can be removed from the unit. This gives you access to clean periodically to make sure that there's no buildup of media or if anything gets jammed within the system. You can obviously slide that back in. And each time that is done, there's a homing process which will reprogram the step motor to inform the unit exactly where it is. Should you need to remove the entry, you can loosen the tab over there and then rotate and remove the entry support. This will allow you, again, easy access to the system if anything jams. Sometimes you may run into a situation where even 3 cases are stacked one within each other, and that can be something which would jam on the entry. The unit has the power plug connected in there and only one control button. This control button puts it into programming mode, allows it to caliber, puts it into run mode, and can also be used to put the unit into the case bowl emptying mode. All done with the same button, just a question of how long you hold it down. On the bottom, this is the output that goes directly into the press. Now in this output there is an optical sensor, an infrared sensor, which acts as which stops the unit if the tube underneath is full. You don't want that tube to overfull into the auto case sorter, so it senses that and stops. Obviously above the unit you still have the switch from the case feeder preventing overflow. The assembly of the unit is very straightforward and very simple, and I'm going to get into that right now. In our Dillon mounting kit, we have 2 steel hooks which are used to support the unit on the edge of the case feeder. Should you choose to, you can also use an articulating arm which can be attached on the threaded hole on the bottom. The articulating arm is not included, but you can purchase those on Amazon or any outlet and support it directly to the case feeder. But it's not really necessary, especially on the presses like the Dillon, where the output is supported well from the bottom and is very stable. In fact, this unit can be fitted into the output with no additional supports. These bars, though, help to keep it orientated and preventing it from wiggling while it's operating. So the mounting kit for the Dillon includes 2 sections of pipes. The short one mounts above the unit, the long pipe mounts underneath, and remember, the chamfer edge goes on the upside into the exit hole. Now the pipe is provided longer than you will need. It's long enough for all the different models of Dillon machines, which all have different pipe lengths overall. We provide it slightly longer so you can now cut it to measure on your machine. And the best way to do that is to take the unit, make sure you've seated the 2 pipes in well, turn it upside down and support it on a flat surface. Take your original Dillon pipe, stand it right next to the unit, and then make a marking on the plastic pipe. And you can see that for the Super 1050, I only need to cut off about ½ an inch to get to the correct length. Make sure that the length that you're going to shorten is the side which does not have the chamfer. You want to keep that chamfer on the upper side. With these kits, we're actually providing a handy little hacksaw. If in case you don't have a tool handy, you can just cut that side off. Doesn't have to be perfectly clean because, again, that's the downside, and it's easy to fit. I'm going to shorten this pipe and then we'll get right back to installing. So I've trimmed about ½ an inch off the bottom pipe, making sure to cut the end that does not have the chamfer. I'm keeping that chamfer. And now my unit will fit into place onto my Super 1050. Now as you can see, it is actually quite well supported, and I could run it like this as well, but it will have a tendency to wiggle around and move a little bit. So in order to keep it more stable, I'm going to use the supported hooks, and I'm going to thread them through the ears which exist on the sides of the unit, push them down on both sides. You may have to loosen these screws, and the hooks will go in, and you can now tighten them in place. The orientation on a Super 1050 naturally will face the machine a little bit to the right. If you want to straighten it out, you can simply bend this hook somewhat, bend the arm in order to get the machine more orientated in the direction of choice. Now in this way the unit is ready to use and it's ready to run. You can stabilize it here, you can adjust the hook, you can improvise and attach it to a different point in the unit, but basically this is the position in which the machine will be used. The output remains straight, continuous into the press, and it doesn't add any interference with any of your dies or your tool head. The last thing to assemble will be the rejection port. Now on the rejection port we provide a long spring which allows you to run this port through to some other bowl. You can put a box on the side of the table, you can run it into a bin, and anything which is incorrectly orientated or the wrong type of case will go down into out from that tube. Once we have the unit installed on, in this case, my Super 1050, we're now going to program it for the right cases. I'm loading 9mm at the moment, so I'm going to program the unit for 9mm. Once the unit is powered up, the first thing that will happen is that it will calibrate itself. It moves to the endpoint, it finds its calibration, this tilts the step motor exactly where it needs to be, and at this point it's waiting to be programmed. To program it, you have to take 5 cases, check them manually to make sure that they are all the correct type of case, and make sure you place them in the correct orientation. Once ready, press and hold the red button until the light comes on and release. Programming mode is presented and the unit is now measuring those 5 cases. Once measured, it's created an average of what is the right dimension for height and diameter on and in the rim, and the unit is now ready to go to accept 9mm brass but reject anything else. So if I feed in another 2 cases correctly orientated, then I feed in a 9mm case inverted, and then I drop in a 38 Super case, followed by 2 good 9mm cases. What we're expecting to see is the first 2 cases accepted, 2 cases rejected, and another 2 cases accepted. So let's let the unit run. Turning it on, just a short press on the red button. Two cases were rejected, and I can find them here in my output chute. There's my 38 Super and that one 9mm case which was rejected because it was inverted. The unit itself will stop after 10 cycles of finding no case. Will give you a message saying the case is empty, but it has counted 9 correct cases which have been fed through, and that's how many rounds have been loaded if we were cycling the machine. So the unit is set up, ready to run. A neat feature of it is that when you turn it off, next time you come back to reload, it will remember the caliber it was set up with, so you don't have to repeat this process unless you're changing calibers. It will remember 9mm is good, everything else is bad. Once installed and set up on your press, you will never again see an inverted case or the wrong caliber case pushed into your shell plate, which can make your reloading process so much simpler, so much faster, and give you better quality and safer to shoot ammunition. Now, of course, we wanted to make the Auto Case Sorter available and compatible with the excellent Mark 7 Apex machines, the Apex 10. So we've come up with a mounting kit that fits beautifully into this system, but it is more difficult to set up than on the Dillon because the case feeder output is not directly above the input for the shell plate. So there are some modifications to the press that need to be done, but all of the parts required are included in the Apex mounting kit that we sell alongside the Auto Case Sorter. So on this press over here, we've already installed some of these modifications, and I'll go over it with you. The first thing is the case feeder needs to be lifted slightly higher, about 10 centimeters or 4 inches. If you don't have the headspace in your reloading, that may be an issue for you, so bear in mind you need to lift the case feeder an additional 10 centimeters so that we can fit the Auto Case Sorter and still provide an acceptable angle for feeding the cases down into the press. In order to elevate the case feeder, we provide an adapter piece. You will just open the screws which mount the case, install this adapter into your existing mount, reinstall the screws, and your case feeder would have been lifted that extra 10 centimeters. Next, we do have to modify the original output exit from the case feeder because the one provided by Mark 7 angles the cases to the side, and for the Auto Case Sorter we need them falling directly down. So with the help of Mark 7 we actually have a whole bunch of these parts which we modify for you and include a modified piece in the kit, and this will allow you to mount the Auto Case Sorter. So you replace the original one you have with the cutoff piece that we provide in order to fit the Auto Case Sorter. The bracket which holds the Auto Case Sorter, you must fit this onto the mount before you install the case feeder. Otherwise it will be difficult. You won't be able to get it to fit around the pole. Take note of the angle in which it fits. This is the feed through hole, and it should be directly underneath the exit hole from the case feeder. Leave it loose on the rod so you can slide it up and down. And this will allow you the easiest time fitting the auto case sorter. The auto case sorter will mount with the exit hole in the base of the mount as shown. And above it fits the short tube section which is provided. It's an 80mm tube section. Remember, the chamfer has to be at the top. This adapter piece which is included fits directly onto the modified funnel which has been provided. This is the position in which the auto case sorter is mounted. It faces you as the user. You can see the display clearly, and it creates a straight line for the cases to fall down through to the exit hole, and this can now be attached at the correct angle. You do need to change the adapter piece, which is the original piece from the Mark 7, with the adapter piece, which again is included in the kit, in the mount. This screws directly onto the spring and then is positioned into the exit hole, orientated correctly, and you can tighten the screw in order to secure the spring in place. The angle which is created here is acceptable for all the calibers that will go through here. There's no feeding issues. The auto case sorter is mounted nice and securely. The last thing to do is to attach the rejection port. We provide a long 70cm spring which can be simply pushed into that exit hole. You can secure it with a zip tie if you want extra support, although it does stay in place nicely. And you can run this off to the side of the machine into a bin to pick up any one of those rejected cases. And here you have it. This is the installation using all the parts which are provided. You don't have to change or modify any of your parts from the Apex machine. You just have to remove the parts you have and install the new modified parts which we provide with the kit, at which point the installation can be done in a couple of minutes, and the auto case sorter won't interfere even with tall bullet feeder dropper dies. All of that will fit alongside it and allow you to function the Apex 10 as normal, to run it as normal with all of the accessories you have, including and adding the Double Alpha auto case sorter.